Hello, I'm Grant Wallstrom, contributing editor to Internal Auditor magazine's Fraud Department and Senior Manager of Fraud Forensics and Investigations at ADT in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm pleased to introduce this episode of Fraud on the All Things Internal Audit podcast, which provides fictionalized accounts of fraud based on actual events. IIA members can read the full fraud article exclusively in the April 2024 issue of Internal Auditor magazine, including bonus material and lessons learned. Listen now to Tenders in the Wind.
Part 1. An ill wind is blowing. Alicia Cohen, an internal auditor at Eternal Wind Energy Limited, a large renewable energy developer, sighed as she flipped through her audit notes. She needed to finalize an audit in a foreign subsidiary of Eternal Wind, but she was concerned about a deficient procurement process. The subsidiary's tenders for wind farm construction, with contracts worth hundreds of millions of euros, were carried out recklessly and deviated significantly from established policies. For example, although the tenders were announced in public databases, project managers requested bidders submit amended offers directly to their work emails, thus jeopardizing the confidentiality of the bids. In addition, the subsidiary failed to follow negotiation protocols. It was impossible to ascertain what information was provided to participants during the negotiations and how equal treatment of bidders was ensured. The project managers responsible for the audited projects had been cooperative and agreed that there were opportunities for improvement. However, in their collective opinion, the procurement policies seemed to be too bureaucratic and create unnecessary work. Cohen was pondering the matter when the regional head of wind developments, Johannes Janus, called via video conference to inquire when to expect the first draft of the internal audit report. By the way, Janus added, one of the project managers told me information may have been leaked during the ongoing tenders for the construction of the wind farm roads, power substation, electrical works, and other parts of the farm. Considering her audit observations, Janus' statement made sense to Cohen. She asked Janus for more details. There is nothing else, he shrugged. The project manager just said he had a bad feeling, but no evidence. Part 2. The Gathering Storm. Cohen's next call was to Gytis Zemaitis, the project manager at Eternal Wind Energy's subsidiary. Zemaitis, a new employee, worked with his more experienced colleague, Adherence Malinauskas, on several wind farms developments. Zemaitis, Malinauskas, and Cohen had several rounds of video interviews during the audit, so rapport already had been established. Zemaitis shared that one of the tender participants, a well-known Turkish company, Turkvista Limited, seemed to have received information about both Eternal Wind Energy's budgeted assumptions and the prices of competitors' bids submitted during the first round of tenders. Turkvista had already won several contracts for the wind farm, and it appeared eager to win more. Cohen was well aware of procurement process drawbacks. She knew the project managers were the key employees who possessed detailed information, analyzed bids, and were mainly responsible for negotiating and communicating with tender participants. Thus, if Zemaitis was the one blowing the whistle, then his senior colleague, Malinauskas, was one of the main suspects. Cohen called Janus back and told him that an internal investigation would be initiated, adding that Janus should keep all information confidential. In addition, Cohen sent a short email to Eternal Wind's CEO outlining the tip and promising an interim report in 2 weeks. Cohen was dealing with a bundle of disturbing but inconclusive findings. When the second round of bids was submitted, an analysis of changes in pricing revealed anomalies. For example, for the road construction tender, Turkvista increased its offer considerably in comparison to its first round bid, but the offer remained slightly cheaper than competitors' bids. Turkvista appeared to know its first round bid was considerably lower and by how much the bid could be raised and still be competitive. The opposite anomaly could be observed regarding the electrical design and works tender. Turk Vista's first round bid was much higher than competitors' bids. However, after the last round, though technical specifications remained the same, Turk Vista lowered its price and gained the leading position. If in the first round of bidding, Turk Vista seemed to be winning one of 4 tenders, after the second round, Turk Vista was leading in all tenders. Still, although the second round outcomes appeared suspicious, there was no direct evidence that information was leaked. Beyond the bid irregularities, Cohen's findings revealed concerns regarding Malinowskis' lifestyle. Specifically, his financial situation had seemingly improved overnight. He was bragging in the office about buying a car for a family member and selling his car, as it was time to move to more luxurious vehicles. Inspection of his internet activities revealed that Malinowskis was actively looking for an apartment to buy for investment purposes and was casually purchasing luxury items such as phones and watches. Part 3. Blowing open the scheme. Cohen decided to bring in trusted cybersecurity specialists and task them with focusing on the day the second round bids were received. Specifically, all the participants' bids for 4 tenders arrived in 3 mailboxes: Zemaitis, Malinowskis, and the in-house lawyers. Turk Vista bids were last to arrive. Using mail server logs and e-discovery tools, the cybersecurity specialist identified the first person to open the email. Next, they restored all logged activity conducted by that user until the arrival of the Turk Vista bid. The final step was to clone that user's laptop remotely. The collaboration with the specialist yielded new evidence. The deadline for bid submissions was August 15th at 11:59 p.m., which was a Friday. Both Zemaitis and the lawyer logged out from corporate information systems, including their personal smart devices, and did not return online until Monday. Malinowskis, however, stayed active online until 12:30 a.m. The last bid from Turk Vista's competitors arrived at 10:30 p.m., and Malinowskis immediately downloaded it to his OneDrive and opened the files. After that, he used Microsoft Office tools and made Zoom calls. Turk Vista's bid was received by all 3 mailboxes at 11:41 p.m., and Malinowskis did not open it. The fact that he stayed after regular work hours on a Friday night to open a bid for a tender that he was not primarily responsible for could not be easily dismissed. A quick search of Malinowskis' cloned laptop retrieved the final piece of evidence. In one of his desktop folders, Malinowskis kept a spreadsheet named Job Bonus within it. He tracked amounts and dates of payments with notes clearly identifying specific Turk Vista representatives. The payments began immediately after Turk Vista won previous contracts and ranged between 5,000 and 10,000 euros per month. According to his table, he expected to receive 130,000 euros in total. A review of the tenders that Turk Vista had already won illustrated the same pattern of anomalies as in ongoing tenders. Turk Vista knew exactly when to decrease and when to increase its pricing. Cohen summarized the results of the investigation and contacted senior management. Eternal Wind Management suspended Malinowskis and required him to write an explanatory letter. Malinowskis partially admitted his wrongdoings but claimed no harm was caused to the company because despite receiving monetary gifts from Turk Vista, work was performed in accordance with the contracts. Malinowskis' employment agreement was then terminated. Turk Vista Limited was prohibited from further participation in any tender published by Eternal Wind Energy Limited and its subsidiaries. All existing contracts with Turk Vista Limited were terminated. Eternal Wind's CEO invited Zemaitis to dinner and personally thanked him for his courage in living up to the organization's values of honesty and transparency.
This has been Fraud, a fictionalized account based on actual events, brought to you by the Institute of Internal Auditors. IIA members can access the full story in the April 2024 issue of Internal Auditor magazine, including bonus material on lessons learned. To read more, visit internalauditor.theiia.org. For more fraud-related resources, including guidance and thought leadership from the IIA and the ACFE, visit theiia.org/ACFE fraud.